Welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm Tracy Young. In August, Governor Schwarzenegger called for a special session of the legislature to amend a current law that could preclude California from receiving federal funds from the stimulus package. And joining us to talk about the race to the top program is Senator Bob Huff, who represents the 29th District. Nice to have you with us, sir.
Good to be with you, Tracy.
And I understand that you received a promotion on August 1st. You're now the Republican caucus chair, so congratulations.
I am, and thank you very much.
Got to expect a lot from you, though, now.
Oh, well, no more than before.
Will you remind us, I understand on this stimulus package that about $4.35 billion will be distributed across the entire United States. What is this Race to the Top program?
Well, as you know, the federal government often has money for particular purposes, and in their effort to try to stimulate the economy, they have this education pot of money. But as is usually the case with government money, there's strings attached. And so these particular strings are trying to shape policy to get more accountability out of education.
And I understand that California passed a law a few years ago that does not allow teachers to be evaluated, whether it's their pay or whether or not they have that position or not, based on test scores, whereas that the Obama administration feels that we've got to have some sort of way to evaluate whether or not we're succeeding. And they're saying unless you change that law, we could actually get $0?
Right. It's interesting because as part of that discussion, we wanted to be able to know, which teacher is excelling, which teacher needs help. And it's not about punishing teachers as much as making sure that we're getting, the performance in the classroom that we're paying for. And in many cases, you can have poor performing teachers that just a little bit of tweak would be doing much better, but the teachers union wouldn't allow us to use this for evaluation purposes and actually put it in law for that. So we have numbers, and we can track like a Social Security number, but it's not that, but a way that you can't really tie back to the individual teacher for merit pay or anything like that, but there is some number that, this particular number represents this particular classroom and they're doing better than this number over here.
Do we have an idea how much money California could lose out on?
Well, typically we get our percentage of money, which 12–15% or so should come to the state of California. So that's a pretty significant amount of money. It's possible we get more, and it depends because it's needs-based and you got to qualify it. Obviously, if we don't get our fair share, some other state's going to get more than what their fair share is.
And this is also obviously hitting at us at a time when we have a very tight budget situation, and many people believe we could actually take in less revenues this fiscal year than we did last, and we really need that money for education.
Well, that's the thing that's just so puzzling about this, because theoretically the teachers union represents teachers and education, but when things like this come down like this, that protecting teachers as opposed to promoting education, what's good for the kids, it's clear the unions are more about jobs than they are about results. We want to see results. We want to see accountability where that we are getting the maximum result for the dollars we're putting into education.
I know that when you were in the Assembly, you had introduced a number of bills regarding education, and now you serve as the Vice Chair of the Senate Education Committee. And you have a couple of bills that you've introduced to kind of rework California's education system. What's your idea behind it? What do you think we need to address?
Well, there's many things we need to address, Tracy. I'm pleased that the governor has put these, he mentioned these bills actually in his call for a special session on this, but they're basically about school choice. One extends an existing program called District of Choice. It's kind of a convoluted deal, but it allows people to choose to go without their resident district saying no to other schools that have defined themselves by board action as a district of choice. And then the other is allowing the lowest performing schools, the lowest 3 deciles, their parents could take their kids anywhere they want where there's room. So those are bringing accountability to the schools and letting parents not get held hostage by their local school district.
So it sounds like we might see something quickly about this, because basically either we decide now or we don't get this money.
I remain hopeful.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
For Charter Local Edition, I'm Tracy Young. Now back to CNN Headline News.
Malibu Chamber of Commerce presents the 17th annual golf tournament on Monday, September 21st at the Malibu Country Club, featuring celebrity guest Glenn Campbell. Registration begins at 10 a.m., followed by a shotgun start, modified scramble, and putting contest. After golf, enjoy a live and silent auction followed by a reception and dinner. Reserve your foursome today. To register, call 310-456-9025 or visit www.malibu.org.